Hey guys, how's everybody doing? I'm just sitting around watching some 6 Feet Under on Chiller Network, so I decided I would do another DVD update while I have some spare time. I'm going to be doing my rare DVDs Part 3 update. I'm going to stick strictly to horror movies this time around, so for you horror fans, this is the update to check out. All the DVDs are rare, as I said, and out of print. Some rarer than others. You know, some can still be found online for a decent amount. Others, you know, are pretty much impossible to find for, you know, a plausible amount. It's crazy how some DVDs are sold for ridiculous amounts, and sometimes the movie isn't even that great. But anyway, starting with Final Exam. It's an 80s slasher film. It's kind of an overlooked slasher film along the lines, say, of, you know, The Burning, Sleepaway Camp, movies that are overlooked for the bigger names, such as Halloween, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. But definitely worth checking out. It's a good 80s slasher, as I said. You know, I mean, what you'd expect from an 80s slasher movie. The story with this is, there used to be a lot of copies of this available at some local stores, and didn't know it was out of print, so I hadn't purchased it. I had seen the movie back in the VHS days, and you know, thought it was good back then as well. But didn't pick it up. I was always buying other things or whatever. Found out it went out of print and immediately bought a copy. And luckily I did, because within a week or two, all the copies were gone, and I haven't seen it since. So, definitely worth a watch if you can find it. Let me know what you guys think, as always. Next up, Witchcraft. Well, what can I say about this? I'm not really too keen on this movie, not a big fan of the series. Basically bought it because I knew it was out of print, and hadn't seen it around, like, ever. It was a few bucks used, you know, it's good condition. It does work. I did play it to make sure, you know. You gotta be careful when you buy used things. I do buy a lot of rare things used, and normally I know where to get them, but I'll find them absolutely scratch-free and immaculate condition, because if not, you know, I mean, I take care of my things. I want them to be in the best possible condition, you know. But anyway, you know, Witchcraft. The best thing about this is probably the fact that the cover is the same cover from the original VHS. As I mentioned in some of my past videos, I love, you know, the old VHS cover art, and this is the cover I remember seeing in the old video store. So that's probably the best thing about this DVD. You know, the acting's pretty crappy, storyline's pretty poor, but, you know, it's rare. It's a horror movie, so it's in my collection. Next up, we have Pin. Now, I absolutely love this movie. You know, it's quirky, it's bizarre, it's original, but it has some creepy scenes, some good acting. Overall, it's a really good story. It's definitely an original story. Stars David Hewlett. There's that guy right there. He also stars in Cube. If you guys haven't checked out Cube, definitely check that out. It's a good science fiction movie. Also stars Terry O'Quinn from Lost, The X-Files, and The Stepfather, of course. Two additions to this. There's the Anchor Bay version, and then there's the Canadian release. This is the Canadian release. This is not the Anchor Bay version. However, it is absolutely identical to the Anchor Bay edition. The only thing missing is the Anchor Bay logo on the DVD case itself, which would be around there. Other than that, I mean, it's pretty much identical. The cover art is different, and there's no insert. I believe the Anchor Bay version has an insert. But other than that, the contents of the disc are absolutely identical. I believe the Anchor Bay logo even comes up when you play the disc, so they pretty much just you know, use the same exact footage. But definitely a good movie. The Anchor Bay version is slightly rarer, I guess, but I mean, let's face it, they're both out of print, they're both hard to find, they both go for a pretty good amount online, so definitely a good DVD to have in the collection. I'd actually seen the Anchor Bay version of this a few years back, and didn't buy it because I had this version, and back then I was kind of just, you know, buying one edition of each film, which, you know, a lot of people do, but you know, since then I've turned into an OCD collector, I should say, where I just kind of collect every edition I can find of movies I like, and really wish I had picked up the Anchor Bay version back then, you know. So what if I have two different versions? I have like 8 versions of some movies, but anyway, Pin. Next up we have Skinner. Once again, another overrated, underrated, I should say, movie, overlooked. Stars Ted Raimi, this is Skinner, as I said. Also stars Tracy Lords and Ricky Lake. Very hard to find this movie now in Region 1 anyway. I'm not sure about the other regions. Ted Raimi plays a good creep. You gotta say that. He's definitely a creepy guy in this movie. Definitely worth a look as well. Next up we have Rawhead Rex, Clive Barker's story. Once again, another hard to find DVD. This is the only copy I've ever seen, and I actually purchased this from a video rental store. It was a copy that they actually never put out for rental because they had a few copies of it, and I was lucky that they were closing down, and I asked to buy the rental edition of it, and they actually informed me that they had a brand new copy, which was strange. I found that pretty strange. They were just kind of wasted, just sitting there. And like I said, they were lucky enough to sell it to me for the rental price. It hadn't even been opened, nothing. But it's pretty good. So it's Rawhead Rex. You know, not the best film, but you know, I'm a fan of Clive Barker and his writing, his books, his movies. So definitely cool to have in the collection. Next up we have Rush Week, another college slasher film. You know, once again, not the greatest film, but for us slasher fans, it's pretty good to have. Hard to find now. Bought this a while back when it was fairly readily available. Haven't really seen it since, but you know, it's worth checking out, mainly for slasher fans. If you're really not into the whole slasher movie, then you know, it probably won't be your cup of tea. We have Welcome to Planet Earth, stars George Wendt. I'm a big Cheers fan, so you know, I don't mind watching anything with George Wendt in it. Anyway, this is Welcome to Planet Earth, as I said, also known as Alien Avengers. This is kind of a, you know, a cheesy horror comedy. You know, I said these movies are going to be strictly horror, and I kind of lied, I guess, because this one's included. I mean, as it says right there, Roger Corman Comedy Collection. I mean, I wouldn't say it's strictly a comedy. It's like a science fiction comedy. But yeah, so I guess I lied. It's not strictly horror in this update, but definitely worth checking out. Very hard to find. I think this is the only edition of this movie in the world, maybe. Let me know if I'm wrong, but only one I know of. So there's also Alien Avengers 2. As I said, this is also known as Alien Avengers. I believe Alien Avengers 2 has never been released to DVD. So I'd like to check that out someday, if hopefully that gets a release. Finally, we have Brain Damage. Frank Henenlotter, the director of Basket Case, Frankenhooker. This is probably my favorite Frank Henenlotter film. I absolutely love this movie. Definitely crazy movie. Awesome storyline. That guy right there, his name's Aylmer. Basically, he's almost like a drug-inducing alien, and you know, he injects his owner with these drugs that kind of put him on a psychedelic trip, and basically to keep it going, you know, his owner will have to feed him brains, and you know, so basically that means it's time to go on a killing spree. I mean, how else do you get brains? It's kind of a cheesy story, kind of interesting concept, I guess, but definitely worth checking out. This is the special edition. I also own this limited edition, and oddly enough, this limited availability edition is more readily available than the special edition. Limited edition actually goes for maybe close to $20 on Amazon, whereas I saw Amazon selling this edition for, I believe, $89.99. So I'm not too sure on why this is so rare and why someone would want to spend $90 on it new from Amazon, when if Amazon still has these new copies, why are they selling it at such a high price? I don't know. But you know, normally you'll see like Amazon Marketplace sellers selling it for high prices like that, and eBay, but not Amazon itself. Thought that was kind of strange, especially as I said, the limited edition goes for you know, I think it's like 16 change maybe. But that's it for now, guys. Let me know what you guys think of all these movies I've shown. If you guys are curious to see anything else that you've happened to see in my collection along the way, just let me know. And as I said, I'll continue with these rare DVD videos. This has been part 3. You know, part 4 will come probably sometime this week. So yeah, as I said, keep subscribing. Leave me some comments. I appreciate every single one. I appreciate every subscriber. Thanks a lot, guys.